So here we are. I'm cutting into Pastor Madison's week. With his permission, he he's filming, so he must not mind. All right. Pastor Weimer, Bainbridge First Baptist Church, Monday night. Separation of church and state. I must say to you that this has gotten out of hand, the separation of church and state. We do realize that God established both the church and the government. The civil government is outlined in Romans 13, 1 through 7. And the church's purpose has been outlined in Matthew 28, 19 and 20. Neither the government or the church should control the other, nor should there be an alliance between the two. Christians should be able to influence the government toward righteousness, which is not the same as if a particular church controlled the government. There should be a Christian influence, not necessarily that there should be like a state church. While we don't want any particular church to control the government, we have no problem with God being an influence in our government. Our founders did not seek to banish God from the government, from the schoolyard, from life in general. It should be particularly obvious our God is letting us reap what we have sown for the past 60 years. God has been pushed out of nearly everything, and everything is in a mess. Just look, everywhere you look. Instead of children praying in school, they're dying in school. Even sporting events have become more vicious since the opening prayer has been banished. We have taken God out of the boardroom and the bedroom with disastrous results. We have attempted to banish the life giver from the beginning of life and now have a culture of death. The blood of millions of babies cry out from the ground while all around America burns. No wonder we are moving toward socialism as we scramble for more materialism. Without a profound sense of gratitude to God for all we have is emptiness and vanity in boastful pride induced by an overdose of materialism. Once our mutual respect for God was mirrored in loving our neighbor as our own self. Now that God is out of the picture, we devour one another. It is highly likely this generation has very little concept of who God is. The religious are fooled into thinking God wants them to be prosperous, while the unreached and spiritually ignorant think God wants to squelch their desires and make them feel guilty. Yes, the church is not to have undue power over those who govern, but those who govern would do well to have God govern their character. We don't believe that the church should control the government, and we're not seeking that. We simply want God to take his rightful place in the hearts and minds of the men and women of America, both inside and outside government. The Lord bless you. Have a good evening.